Live from WTVO 17 and your home team, Eyewitness News at 5 starts now.
COVID-19 cases continue to rise, and locally, new restrictions are being put in place today. Coming up, we'll learn what health officials say some residents are doing to get a test. Plus, early voting is happening across the country, including here in the state line. Coming up here, where and when you can cast your ballot. And one state line resident is competing for the best mullet in America. Coming up, we'll tell you the name he's given his hair. Good evening, I'm Alexis Carpello. Thanks for joining us tonight. Within the last 24 hours, over 72,000 people in Illinois have taken a COVID-19 test. Our Ari Bruckman went to a testing site today. He says health professionals are trying to keep up with the increasing demand.
Yesterday we saw about 264 come through. As of right now, we're about 200 that we've seen come through the testing site.
As growing concerns over the increase in positive COVID tests continue, the Whiteside Community Health Clinic made it a top priority to host a testing site.
Our numbers are not looking good, and so just to offer additional testing to look at our positivity, see the community spread, and really try to catch those who are positive early.
Participants follow a strict but easy protocol to take the test.
First, the participants pick up a form. On that form, they fill out their basic information, including date of birth and the telephone number that we're going to call with the results. And on the bottom of the form, they're going to sign a consent and date it.
Health experts say many Americans have been traveling outside of their state in order to be tested.
We have noticed personally, especially working in a state line area, that we get a lot of participants from the state of Wisconsin and the state of Iowa, because out there, unfortunately, they don't have these services available as we do here in Illinois.
Healthcare professionals encourage those to continue being cautious.
So really the important thing is be mindful, stay home when you're sick, wash your hands, mask, everything we've told everybody about, but it's those private gatherings, when we're comfortable with people, that we're taking it back out into the community, and that's what we're seeing.
If you have questions regarding your test results, you are encouraged to call the telephone number located at the bottom of the consent form, which will connect you to the state health department. Reporting in Rock Falls, for your home team, I'm Ari Bruckman.
After Saturday's record-breaking caseload, Illinois health officials report an additional 4,000 confirmed cases today. More than 374,000 Illinois residents have tested positive. 24 more people have died due to COVID-19. That includes 2 males from Whiteside County. One was in his 50s and the other in his 80s. Statewide, over 9,000 people have lost their life to the virus. The past 24 hours, more than 72,000 COVID tests have been administered across the state. More than 2,000 people are checked into the hospital with the virus. 565 are battling in the ICU and 214 are using ventilators. The statewide positivity rate sits at 6.1%. Over 50 counties are at warning level in Illinois. Health officials share Region 1's 7-day rolling average increases to 12.7%. Local health experts encourage residents to continue wearing a mask, wash your hands, and maintain social distance. The climbing positivity rate and COVID-19 caseload means new restrictions for Region 1. Those start today. It's an effort to try to slow the spread in our community. Will now be limited to gatherings to 10 people or less. That's instead of 25. Outdoor dining can only have a max of 6 people per table. Some restaurants have already decided to temporarily close under these new restrictions. The last day to order from Giovanni's restaurants until restrictions lessen is today. The Norwegian, on the other hand, announces they will be closing down as a restaurant, but will stay open as a shop, selling homemade jams and other items. Due to the recent increase in cases, many city council and board meetings across the state line are being held virtually. If you want to listen in, you can find information for meetings on city websites or social media pages. If you're looking to still cast your ballot early this election season, a few locations are open around town. Rockford Board of Elections office on 6th Street and a few blocks away, Emmanuel Episcopal Church on Church Street. Both locations are open on weekends from 9 to 5. During the week, the election office is open from 8 to 7. The church is open from 8:30 to 7. Early voting is happening in all 50 states as Election Day creeps closer. The candidates have been campaigning in all of the battleground states, but overnight, at least 5 people in Vice President Mike Pence's circle reportedly test positive for COVID-19. Pence tested negative earlier today. Romina Puga has more.
With 9 days to go until Election Day, President Trump racing across many battleground states, encouraging voters to vote in person.
All Democrat-run states are the ones that are the problem. I don't want to have millions of votes sent to millions of different people.
Breaking overnight, Vice President Mike Pence's chief of staff has tested positive for the coronavirus, along with at least 4 others in Pence's circle. Despite the news, the vice president and his wife continue campaigning today in North Carolina after testing negative. Just 3 weeks ago, the president and first lady tested positive for the virus, and at least 34 other coronavirus cases have been linked to the White House.
I had it. Here I am. Here I am.
Joe Biden yesterday in Pennsylvania telling his supporters the president has failed the American people.
Well, I told him at the debate, we're not learning how to live with it. You're asking us to learn how to die with it.
Biden's deputy campaign manager pointing to COVID-19 for their decision to hold drive-in rallies and visit fewer states in the lead-up to Election Day.
Here's the difference between what we're doing and what Donald Trump is doing. We're doing it safely. We're taking into account the safety of these communities that we're visiting.
So far, an unprecedented 57 million ballots have already been cast. That's more than 40% of the total votes counted in the 2016 election.
I have family members that never cared about politics. In their entire lives, they are voting.
In Pennsylvania, some who voted for Donald Trump in 2016 now soured on the president.
Time and time again, he's given these opportunities to act presidential, and he doesn't.
And I'm just hoping that Joe can maybe tone the noise down, if nothing else, and maybe just at least bring some professionalism back.
While others are still supportive of the president, feeling he understands what they are talking about.
Things that he brings up are exactly what me and my friends talk about in our kitchen. He's exactly spot on.
Romina Puga, ABC News, Los Angeles.
Festival of Fright organizers are extending the hours after Saturday night's long line of cars. Sinisippi Park's Halloween decorations will turn on at 5:30 and run until 8:30. Organizers are hopeful this will allow everyone a chance to see them. The park plans to host a candy drive-through for kids over Halloween weekend. It seems like everyone and every animal are trying to get into the spooky spirit this year. Chicago's Brookfield Zoo staff treats some of their animals to a bunch of pumpkins. Sloth, bears, and even the adorable 5-month-old snow leopard cub all seem to have a pretty good time playing with their food. Some of the pumpkins were filled with some other items like bugs and meat. Sounds good, right? A 12-year-old in Rockton is competing in the USA Kids Mullet Championship. Today is the last day you can vote for Noah Smith. He calls his mullet the Freedom Flapper. He's up against other competitors from across the country. If you want to help Noah win, we have a link so you can vote for him on mystateline.com. The Senate advanced Judge Amy Coney Barrett's Supreme Court nomination in a key procedural vote today. This paves the way for a final confirmation vote to take place Monday. Anna Warnicki is keeping you connected to the nation's capital.
Senate will come to order.
In an unusual Sunday session, the Senate voted 51-48 to end debate and schedule a final vote on Judge Amy Coney Barrett's nomination to the U.S. Supreme Court.
This is something to really be proud of and to feel good about.
Senate Majority Leader Mitch McConnell called the procedural vote a victory. Republicans are on track to confirm Barrett before Election Day.
I oppose her nomination.
Senator Dianne Feinstein says Barrett will allow the court to erase many of the rights Justice Ruth Bader Ginsburg fought to protect.
It's a travesty. A travesty.
Senate Minority Leader Chuck Schumer says the Senate should wait until after the election to fill the Supreme Court vacancy.
Confirming a lifetime appointment this late into a presidential election season is outrageous.
Schumer has repeatedly tried to slow Barrett's confirmation process, including forcing a rare closed session on Friday. Illinois Democrat Dick Durbin says the Senate should be focusing on other issues.
The Republican leader Mitch McConnell says we have no time to discuss COVID-19. No, but we have all the time we need to make sure we have our Supreme Court justice on the bench.
But McConnell says a full 9-member high court must be a priority because of its lasting impact long beyond Election Day.
The Senate is doing the right thing. We're moving this nomination forward.
The Senate now has 30 hours to debate Barrett's nomination before the final Senate confirmation vote, which McConnell says will take place late Monday. In Washington, I'm Anna Warnicki.
Now, your first warned weather forecast with Chief Meteorologist Candice King.
The
to say thank you to David Rice for sharing his fall picture. Weather at King at WTVO.com. That's where you want to share your fall photos. I'll get it out there eventually. Gorgeous picture. Had plenty of sunshine out there. This was taken out in Cherry Valley. Of course, it's been a little more cooler here these last couple of days, and for some more of a winter scene out there. We've had some snow falling up to the north. We've been stuck underneath the cloud cover these past couple of days. Kept our temperatures yesterday in the 40s. Today, upper 30s, low 40s for a lot of us here for this afternoon. We've been mostly dry, just dealing with that cloud cover. Snow extending up to the north from Wisconsin, stretching back down through the central plains and then out towards the Rockies. Actually, high pressure building in across the northern Rockies, allowing that colder air to filter in and mixing with the cold front that came through late Friday and early Saturday. Winter weather advisories extend all the way into western and northwestern Iowa. You've got winter storm watches down through the panhandle of Texas and winter storm warnings out a little bit further to the west. We are not going to see a significant winter weather for us these next 24 hours, but a few light snow showers will be possible later tonight and then going into tomorrow. Live look with our Marseille SkyTrack camera out in Freeport. The wind has been a little bit on the brisk side, which has kept our wind chill factors today in the 20s and even the 30s. 30 degrees is what it feels like right now in Rockford. Temperature sits at 40 in Rochelle, 43 in Belvedere. Wind chill factor 25 in Janesville. Current temperature now at 36. We'll see those numbers drop this evening in the low 30s. A few spots could even fall into the upper 20s as that colder air continues to build in. Now, even though Futurecast does not show it, I do think we'll start to see a couple of light rain showers initially develop, maybe once we get towards about 8, 9, 10 o'clock this evening. As that colder air continues to filter in, that will then fill in with a few light snow showers. So we got this rain-snow mix that'll stay with us during the overnight, more scattered than anything through sunrise tomorrow. Again, Futurecast not showing that, but we will see a couple of light snow showers as that temperature falls below freezing. Any accumulation we see will stay mostly on grassy surfaces tomorrow. Don't expect any impacts to the morning commute, and this will be done by mid-morning. Our skies will stay cloudy as we go through the afternoon tomorrow and into tomorrow night. Another rain-snow mix likely, but staying down to the south as we start to see that colder air settle in for Monday night and then into Tuesday. But as high pressure builds in by Tuesday afternoon, this will bring a return of sunshine, and that'll stay with us Tuesday going into Wednesday. So as far as any accumulation is concerned, this will stay under half an inch for most of us, maybe around a trace to up to a couple tenths of an inch of snow, and mostly confined to the grassy surfaces. And again, as it comes down, it should be able to melt on the roadways, but that temperature will sit right around 32. So it is going to be a little on the chilly side. Temperatures tomorrow stay in the low 40s. Light snow in the morning, mostly cloudy skies as we head towards our Monday afternoon. Let's jump ahead to next weekend. Next Saturday is Halloween. Good news for us. We've got a warming trend that'll take us in towards the end of the week, and then into the weekend, those temperatures will climb into the 50s. No issues if you plan on doing any trick-or-treating, as temperatures officially on Saturday will make it up to 56. In fact, we'll stay pretty dry for Tuesday, Wednesday. Could see a couple of light rain showers, Alexis, once we head towards Thursday.
Now, the Napleton Sports Desk with David Greenberg.
It's another week of NFL action. The 4-1 Green Bay Packers were down in Houston taking on the Texans, looking to bounce back after last week's blowout loss in Tampa Bay. Packers were without their star running back Aaron Jones, who was sidelined with an injury. But it didn't matter because they've got another superstar in Davante Adams. There he is picking up the first score of the game on a little out route. Packers go up 7-0 early. At halftime, Adams had 8 catches for 114 yards and the touchdown. Let's go to the third. Rodgers takes the snap, throws it to guess who? Wide open. He finds Adams again, this time for 45 yards and the score to go up 28-7. A little bump in the road, and the Packers are right back on track. Adams finished with 13 catches for 196 yards and 2 touchdowns. They improved to 5-1 with the 35-20 win.
Davante, you know, we had a conversation this morning in the locker room. I just kind of knew that we needed one of these days today, and we did. He was dynamic from the start, and he's a special player. Love having him on our squad.
James Robinson and the Jaguars are out in L.A. taking on the Chargers. The third quarter just started, checking in on the Rockford Lutheran grad. He's having himself a day already. At halftime, Robinson had 14 carries for 82 yards and a rushing touchdown. He also picked up a touchdown grab through the air right at the end of the first half. I'll have all the highlights from his big day later tonight. A huge primetime matchup tomorrow night out in Los Angeles as the 5-1 Bears trek west to face the 4-2 Rams. This is the Bears' third meeting with the Rams under Nagy. Last season, the Rams won 17-7, but back in 2018, the Bears had the upper hand, winning 15-6. This is a game with two teams that are both very similar. They both have great defenses that rank among the league's best and rely heavily on them to pull the majority of the weight. Matt Nagy continues to stress the offense is still developing, so we'll see where they're at tomorrow night on a big stage. It was the opening weekend for Big Ten football. Wisconsin and Illinois kicked things off with the Badgers' 45-7 blowout win. And it's safe to say the nation took notice, thanks to Graham Mertz and his unconscious performance, tossing 5 touchdown passes. The Badgers are up to number 9 in the most recent AP poll rankings. They travel to Nebraska next week to play the Cornhuskers. I think consensus was that last night's World Series game was one of the wildest we'd seen in recent years. It was 4-2 Dodgers, then 5-4 Rays, then 6-5 Dodgers, then all tied at 6, then 7-6 Dodgers, and unbelievably ended right there with 8-7 Rays. That tied the series up at 2-2. Game 5 is tonight on Fox 39. Both teams will have their ace on the bump. It's Clayton Kershaw for the Dodgers and Tyler Glasnow for the Rays. First pitch is set for 7:08.